What would you do if the one place you loved most turned against you in a single, shattering moment? In the small town of Willow Creek, where the air carried the scent of pine and the hum of quiet lives, the Willow Pages bookstore was more than just a show pit, was a sanctuary. Its wooden shelves, lined with stories of every kind, had been a haven for dreamers, scholars, and wanderers alike. But on one fateful afternoon, the bookstore became the stage for a storm named Karina Storm that would unravel secrets, break hearts, and leave scars no one saw coming. Karen Mitchell stormed through the glass doors of Willow Pages, her heels clicking like gunfire on the hardwood floor. Her face was a mask of fury, eyes narrowed, lips pursed, clutching a hardcover novel so tightly her knuckles whitened. Behind the counter, Emily, the soft-spoken cashier with a knack for recommending the perfect book, braced herself. She'd seen Karen before everyone in Willow Creek had. Karen was the woman who demanded discounts at the grocery store, berated waiters for cold coffee, and once sent a letter to the mayor complaining about the town's ugly flower beds. Today, it seemed the bookstore was her target. "I want a refund," Karen snapped, slamming the book onto the counter. The sound echoed, startling an elderly man browsing the history section. "This book is garbage. The plot's a mess. The characters are boring, and I deserve my money back." Emily, barely 22, adjusted her glasses and forced a polite smile. "I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it, ma'am. Can I see the book, please?" She reached for the hardcover, a best-selling mystery novel, and her heart sank. The cover was creased, the spine cracked, and worst of all, pages were torn, some barely hanging by a thread. "Ma'am, it looks like the book's been damaged. Our refund policy doesn't cover." "Damaged?" Karen's voice rose, sharp enough to cut glass. "Are you accusing me of something? I paid $30 for this trash, and you're going to give me my money back, or I'll make sure everyone in this podunk town knows how awful this place is." The air in the bookstore thickened. Customers glanced over, some retreating to the safety of the poetry aisle, others lingering with the morbid curiosity of onlookers at a car crash. Emily's hands trembled, but she held her ground. "I'm sorry, but we can't refund a book in this condition. It's store policy." Karen leaned forward, her voice dropping to a venomous hiss. "Do you know who I am? I'm Karen Mitchell. I've been coming here for years. I've spent hundreds, no, thousands here. You don't get to tell me no." At that moment, the back door creaked open, and out stepped Clara, the bookstore's owner. At 60, Clara was a force of nature, kind but unyielding. Her silver hair pulled into a bun, her eyes sharp as a hawk's. She'd built Willow Pages from nothing, pouring her heart into every shelf, every book club, every child's story hour. She'd heard the commotion from her office and now stood with her arms crossed, assessing the scene. "Karen," Clara said, her voice calm but firm. "What's going on?" Karen spun toward her, sensing an ally, or at least someone she could bully. "Your employee is refusing me a refund for this defective book. I want my money, and I want her fired." Clara's gaze flicked to the book, then back to Karen. "Let me see it." She picked up the novel, her fingers tracing the torn pages. The ink smudged as if someone had spilled coffee on it. Her expression hardened. "Karen, this book's been ruined. We don't refund damaged goods." Karen's face flushed crimson. "Ruined? I didn't do that. It came like that. You're running a scam here, selling broken books and blaming customers." The accusation hung heavy, and the bookstore fell silent. Even the elderly man in the history section froze, his hand hovering over a biography. Emily's eyes widened, but Clara didn't flinch. Instead, she reached under the counter and pulled out a tablet, tapping the screen with deliberate calm. "Karen," Clara said, "we have cameras. Installed them last year after the shoplifting incident. Would you like me to check the footage from when you bought this book 3 days ago?" Karen froze, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. For the first time, uncertainty flickered in her eyes. But before she could respond, a new voice cut through the tension. "Excuse me," said a man stepping forward from the crowd. He was in his 30s, with a scruffy beard and a worn leather jacket, holding a stack of sci-fi novels. His name was Lucas, a regular at Willow Pages, though he kept to himself, always reading in the corner with a coffee. I saw what happened to that book. All eyes turned to him. Karen's glare could have burned holes through steel, but Lucas didn't waver. I was here 3 days ago when you bought it, he continued, his voice steady but laced with something deeper anger, maybe, or regret. You were flipping through it at the counter, complaining about the price. Then you dropped it on the floor, stepped on it, and laughed it off. Said it was just a book. The room gasped. Emily's hand flew to her mouth, and Clara's eyes narrowed. Karen's face drained of color, but she recovered quickly, jabbing a finger at Lucas. You're lying. Who are you, anyway? Some nobody trying to play hero? I'll sue you for slander. Lucas didn't back down. I'm not lying, and I'm not a nobody. I'm the guy who's been coming here every week since my wife died. Because this bookstore is the only place that feels like home. You don't get to ruin it for everyone else. The twist hit like a thunderclap. Lucas, the quiet regular, had never shared his story before. The customers whispered, their pity and admiration palpable. Karen, for once, seemed at a loss for words. But Clara wasn't done. Karen, she said, her voice cold as winter. You're banned from Willow Pages, effective immediately. You've disrespected my staff, my store, and every person who finds solace here. Get out. Karen's jaw dropped. Banned? You can't ban me. I'm a customer. I have rights. You have no rights here, Clara snapped. Not after this. She gestured to the door, and 2 customers, an elderly woman and a teenage boy, stepped forward, silently forming a barrier. The community had spoken. Karen grabbed her purse, muttering curses, and stormed out, leaving the ruined book behind. The bell above the door jingled, a mocking farewell. For a moment, the bookstore was quiet, the weight of the confrontations settling like dust. Emily broke the silence, her voice shaky. Clara, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what to do. Clara placed a hand on her shoulder. You did fine, Emily. Some people think they can bully their way through life. But not here. Lucas lingered at the counter, his sci-fi novels still in hand. I'm sorry I spoke up like that, he said softly. I just couldn't let her ruin this place. Clara smiled, a rare warmth in her eyes. You did the right thing, Lucas. This store's a family. We protect our own. For a week, Willow Pages buzzed with the story of Karen's banishment. Customers shared their own tales of her outbursts, and Lucas became a quiet hero, though he brushed off the praise. But beneath the victory, something darker lingered. Emily noticed at first Clara seemed distracted. Her usual energy dimmed. One evening, as they closed the shop, Emily found Clara in her office, staring at an old photo. Clara, are you okay? Emily asked. Clara sighed, setting the photo down. It showed a younger Clara with a woman who looked strikingly like Karen, same sharp features, same piercing eyes. That was my sister, Margaret, Clara said. Karen's mother. She was difficult, too. Always demanding, always cruel. I opened this bookstore to escape her, to build something good. But Karen's just like her. I thought I could handle it. But seeing her today, it brought it all back. Emily's heart ached. Clara, the unbreakable, had been carrying this pain all along. Why didn't you tell me? She asked. Clara shook her head. Some stories are too heavy to share. I thought banning Karen would feel like justice. But it just feels empty. The bookstore carried on, its shelves still a haven, its community stronger than ever. But for Clara, the victory was bittersweet. She'd protected her sanctuary, but at the cost of reliving a past she'd fought to forget. And Karen? She never returned, but her shadow lingered, a reminder that some wounds never heal, no matter how many battles you win. Nd.